you already know that there are different planets revolve around the sun. Aside from these planets, other celestial bodies also revolve around the sun. These celestial bodies fascinate skygazers before and until today. But where do these celestial bodies come from and what are they made of? Advancement in space technology allowing scientists coming from different fields such as physics, chemistry, biology and geology to expand on studying near-Earth objects or NEO such as comets, meteors and asteroids. Using the more powerful telescopes and space probes in studying comets and asteroids provides more clues about our solar system begun. For more than 3 years, several amateur and professional astronomers successfully discovered multiple NEOs that are closer to Earth. The most current asteroid is asteroid 2012 DA14. The said asteroid made enough distance to Earth as it orbited the Sun last February 16, 2012, Philippine time. On the same day, as asteroid stepped into Earth's atmosphere and blew up over Lake Chabarkal in Russia, damaging about 1,000 people in the process. These two incidents resulted in superstitions that have no scientific basis, worries, and different prophecies by different cultures. But do these things have a scientific basis? This video will give you an experience outside the Earth, giving you a closer look at the different celestial objects like asteroids, meteors, and comets. What is a comet? Comets are frozen leftover from the formation of our solar system, composed of dust, rocks and ices. The term comet came from the Latin words stella cometa, which means hairy star. They are formed at farther distances from the Sun, beyond what we call the frost or snow line and past the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, where temperatures are low enough. The orbits of the comets are big, highly elliptical, extending far beyond the orbit of Pluto. Comets usually originate at Kuiper belt and Oort belt. Comets that originate at Kuiper belts are called short-period comets, with orbital periods of less than 200 years. While comets that originate at Oort belt are called long-period comets and orbit more than 200 years. Comets can be seen only when they pass the Sun. As the comets orbit closer to the Sun, they heat up and spew gases and dust into a glowing head that can be larger than a planet. This material forms a tail that stretches millions of miles. Example of short-period comet is the Halley's Comet, which is visible from Earth every 75 to 76 years. It is the only known short-period comet that is only visible to the naked eye from Earth. The comet was named after the English astronomer Edmund Halley. The last time it was visible on Earth's vicinity was in 1986, and it is projected to return in 2061. Moreover, example of long-period comet is the spectacular comet Neowise that gives brightness in the sky on July 2020. NASA states that comet Neowise will not return for another 6,800 years. It is known for being the brightest comet in the northern hemisphere since the comet Hale-Bopp 1997. The comet Hale-Bopp orbits 2,533 years and will return to the inner solar system around the year 4385. It stayed visible with the unaided eye for a record of 18 months. Comet Hale-Bopp was discovered on July 23, 1995, by two independently observing amateur astronomers, Alan Hale and Thomas Bopp. Comets have 3 basic parts, namely nucleus, a solid body that contains mixture of dust, ice or frozen gases, water vapor and other materials. Coma is a cloud-like that surrounds the nucleus. It is the freely escaping atmosphere around the nucleus that forms when the comet comes close to the Sun, carrying dust particles that are intimately mixed with the frozen ices in the nucleus. Tail is made up of gas or dust particles, or both. Sometimes comets have 1 or 2 tails. The dust tail forms from dust particles and is blown back by solar radiation pressure to form a long curving tail that is typically white or yellow in color. On the other hand, the ion tail forms from the gases in the coma that point almost exactly away from the Sun that glow bluish in color due to the presence of carbon dioxide ions. Have you ever seen a falling or shooting star that flashes so fast through the darkness in the sky and disappears in just a blink of your eyes? Do you know that what we see as falling or shooting stars in the sky are not really stars? These are called meteors. But before it strikes the Earth's atmosphere as meteor, it was once a meteoroid and a meteorite. Do you know the difference between meteors, meteorite and meteoroid? Meteoroids are lumps of rock or iron that orbit the Sun, just as planets, asteroids, and comets do. There are three main sources of meteoroids. 1. Many are leftovers from the dust that formed the solar system. 2. Others are fragmented asteroids. And 3. Many meteoroids entering the Earth's atmosphere in one go are caused by comets that results to huge meteor showers. They orbit the Sun among the rocky inner planets, as well as the gas giants that make up the outer planets. Meteoroids are even found on the edge of the solar system, in regions called the Kuiper Belt and the Oort cloud. On the other hand, meteors are the meteoroids that enter the Earth's atmosphere. As it enters the atmosphere, it burns up, that creates flash of lights in the night sky, which we see as falling or shooting star. These are the meteors. Most of the meteors burn up in the atmosphere and do not survive. The remains of meteors that survive on Earth's atmosphere and land on Earth will be called as meteorites. Majority of the meteorites are very small. Their size can range from about a fraction of a gram, the size of a pebble, to 100 kilograms or more, the size of a huge, life-destroying boulder. Our solar system does not only include the planets and the Sun. There are smaller bodies that float in space that are made up of dust, ice, gas, or fragments of rocks. One of these is asteroids. Asteroids are small rock fragments that orbit around a sun with varied/irregular shape. They are sometimes called the minor planets or planetoids, and they have their elliptical orbit. There are more than 50,000 asteroids in the solar system, and most of them are in the region between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, called the asteroid belt. Some of them are not confined in the asteroid belt, and while some have unconventional orbits. Some of these asteroids would pass through the Sun, some would pass near the Earth and its natural satellite, or which may even collide with it. These are some known asteroids in the solar system. Ceres, Vesta, Eros, Bennu and 2012 D14. At first, before there was an Earth, Jupiter or Pluto, a massive swirling cloud of dust and gas circled the young Sunday. The dust particles in this disk collided with each other and formed into larger bits of rock. This process continued until they reached the size of boulders. Eventually, this process of accretion formed the planets of our solar system. Billions of small space rocks never evolved. Amazingly, many of these mysterious worlds have been altered very little in the 4.6 billion years since they first formed. They can reveal secrets about our origins, record the processes and events that led to the birth of our world. They might offer clues about where the water and raw materials that made life possible on Earth came from. Comets and asteroids possibly delivered some of the water and other ingredients that allowed the complex chemistry of life to begin on Earth. Scientists also explore small worlds to understand the hazards and resources in the solar system that will affect human expansion in space. Impacts are a process in the solar system that can end life as well as advancing it. Scientists believe drifted objects or fragments from earlier collisions slammed into Earth in the past, playing a major role in the evolution of our planet. In the event of a collision with the Earth, a blanket of dust could cover the Earth, a near-darkness situation could happen, normal plant and animal chemical activities could stop due to lack of sunlight, and if the situation persists for months, most of the species on Earth could be extinct. Collisions with the minor members of the solar system and other stuff from space have been responsible for huge landmarks in our planet's history: global shifts in climate, the creation of our moon, the reshuffling of our deepest geology, and the extinction of species. Here are some of the impacts of comets, meteors and asteroids to our planet. A 1.2 kilometers Barringer meteorite crater was caused by an iron meteorite in Arizona 50,000 years ago. On February 15, 2013, a meteor exploded in the sky over Chelyabinsk, southern Russia, that caused damage to 7,200 buildings and 1,500 people injured. The collision of comet fragments over Tunguska, region of Siberia in 1908 that knocked down trees in an area about 850 square miles. widespread wildfires ignited by radiation from the fireball as the object passed through the atmosphere would be generated, and mass extinction of dinosaurs caused by global warming shows much evidence that it is due to extraterrestrial objects. To help avert such a threat to life on Earth, it is important for the scientific community to create technologies to deflect these celestial bodies.